Today's A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan podcast is brought to you by
Modern Plumbing Industries.
Oh, I hate those guys. You know who I am? I'm one of those bad plumbers that'll steal your money.
It's okay, all right.
Look through your wife's panty drawers because I'm a real pervert. I'm a real pervert.
Okay, Ross has been rubbing off on me, and I just wanted to do some characters. That's the perverted plumber character I'm working on.
Yeah.
Maybe shouldn't have debuted it in the modern PI spot.
Yeah, but it's a plumber that you don't want to hire.
Yeah, you don't want to hire that guy.
You want to hire the pros at Modern Plumbing Industries, and when you hire them, they're going to be super professional. They're going to give you 10% off if you mention Tom and Dan, so that's pretty good.
And everything like residential, commercial, industrial, Seminole, Orange, Lake, Volusia, Osceola, pretty much all of Central Florida. Big jobs, small jobs, they can do all of it.
Custom jobs. They installed an outdoor shower in my house. They did awesome work. I mean, it looks really...
Well, it looks like a
copper...
Like an art... installation of some sort.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like what you would have done. I'll tell you that. Or that other plumber character.
I was like, run it through my panty drawer. Anyway.
Also, here's one of the things that we really love, because you guys know we're always talking about how hard it is to be a small business or a family-owned business. That's what we are. Well, these guys are too. This is a second-generation family-owned business. They've been serving Central Florida since 1975. I wasn't even alive.
Yep. So if you have some plumbing problems, call Modern Plumbing Industries, modernpi.com.
Live from the Injured on the Go Just Call Mo studio.
It's a blast!
It's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Hello, this is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Welcome to the Friday free show of A Mediocre Time.
Oh my God! I gotta learn the workflow. I don't know the workflow anymore, man. Oh, and Ross's camera's all messed up. I'll fix it. I promise. I'll fix it.
Well, you do something the same for years and years. Hard to change.
Well, I mean, it's not like, and I have no control over it. It's no free will. There's zero ability for me to learn this new workflow of this new computer and camera any quicker than I'm doing it. That would not be, I mean, maybe unless you gave me some of your Adderall, which I know you're not going to do.
Just go get it. Get from the Adderall doctor. They give it to you.
I'm honest with my doctors, and they don't give me any. When you're honest with your doctors, they don't give you shit.
Idiot.
They give you nothing. Hey, who's that voice? That's, ladies and gentlemen, that is Ross Padgett on the couch.
It is.
You can't see him, though. You're going to be able to see him soon, though, I promise.
Well, tell your doctor I can't do the simplest tasks anymore. That's what I told my doctor. He's like, here's some amphetamine.
Yeah.
And then you could do them good.
Did he really do that? Like you said, you said, like, I'm having trouble with simple tasks?
Yeah, and jumping is like everybody around me is like, man, you're jumping from thing to thing. You can't do something simple. Concentrate on, remember whatever. You need some goddamn amphetamine to jolt your brain
Did
working.
your doctor really say the goddamn part? Because I do like that.
No.
You need some goddamn amphetamine.
He's like, just use this. I get paid by the, drug companies to push this on
Yeah.
me. And I'm like, I'm glad you do.
You may or may not know this, but there are a series of very hot women that come to my office dressed to the nines that tell me about the new drugs that I need to pump you full of.
A good goddamn comes in hot out of a lab coat.
Real quick, is there anything we need to get done? Because I'm real bad, and I want to be better at. I'm real bad about. I hijacked this guy at the beginning of the show. I want to start talking to you about crazy stuff and Tim Robinson and like just being wild. And we got shit to do. So
okay. Real quick, we got a new shirt at tomandan.com and a merch store.
Yeah, and it's not selling, so you got to scoop them up. You got to buy them. They're not selling. It was a poor choice.
No.
We're at a time of a pure honesty in a world full of bullshit. need to be a beacon of honesty. And we thought this was going to be our shirt. We felt it. We were like, this is a great looking shirt. The new logo's great, but there's only how many have been sold?
This is why I can't tell Daniel shit. I'm going to go back to just keep it quiet. Don't tell him that you shave your pubes. Don't tell him nothing because he brings it up.
If they buy all the shirts, will you shave your pubes?
It's just such a breath of fresh air, though, to hear a sales pitch that goes, we're not selling any. You gotta buy them.
Well, that means they stink.
I got
Do you understand how business works?
That's not true. They do not stink. They're fucking the best shirt we've ever done. The world stinks.
If they don't
and nobody wants to buy anything. Nobody's going to Beyonce concerts. Does Beyonce stink?
Well,
nobody. The greatest one of the. No, they're not. You can go to Beyonce, right? I'm actually thinking about flying, and my wife and I talked about flying to an area that Beyonce's playing.
When did Beyonce get cheap tickets?
No. What you do is you wait until it starts because it's not selling, and then you scoop up one of them $70 badass ones on StubHub.
You treat it like an Orlando Magic game. I've done that many a times.
Yes.
You miss the first quarter, and then you're good.
Yeah, and also a lot of our core people already they have too many T-shirts. So what I'm going to ask everybody is look in your T-shirt drawer right now, find one you don't like and throw it away, and then go to our website and buy one of these new badass ones. You're going to love it. And
now give it to Goodwill so then other people shopping at Goodwill can take a picture of it, put it on social, and be like, look at your shirt at Goodwill, which is somehow a sign of failure.
Ultimate sign of failure is hobos don't even want this shit.
I would make the opposite argument that people, like, there's so many Tom and Dan shirts that they found their way to Goodwill.
Oh, an optimist would say that. Fucking Johnny Optimist over here. A pessimist. You know what a pessimist
thrown away.
A pessimist. I would see that, and I'd look at him. I'd be like, we got to do something. We got to find a second job. We got to do something else.
This is breaking news about the shirt to me. Tell me about this shirt. What's the logo?
This guy's corporate. I like him. I like this guy.
Tom and Dan logo. It's a new one that the Danger Brains made for us. Thank you to the Danger Brains.
Yeah, so we're
branding us.
We're doing a new rebrand of, and it's kind of going to be our final brand. It's going to be like our legacy brand. Now we do have a legacy brand. Our colors are obviously like red and yellows and burgundies and stuff. And this was just kind of like a newer version of that to kind of sail us into our
the final chapter.
The final chapter.
You know what's weird is that like our original logo, it is dated like Hooters simply because it's fucking 15. So,
Did you know we originally had like big-breasted women around here like walking all over?
Like 15 years ago is a long enough time for something to look extremely dated.
I know. Look at my wife. Look at my wife. I'm like, yes.
Anyway, sorry. Mess
Rose
Fest
Feet City, baby.
Mess Fest this weekend at the Orlando Science Center. So check that out. It's basically them blowing up elephant toothpaste and all the different chemistry experiments. Bring their kids
that was
out.
Elephant toothpaste. I don't want anybody thinking the Science Center is blowing up elephants. By the way, in college, I was blowing up elephants like crazy.
There's a demand for that.
Let me just say, they you know what they used to call me? The jockey.
And
that's what they called me in college.
Also, Fringe starts next week, and speaking of Fringe, Ross Paget will be in Fringe with 10 more sketches.
Yes. I brought a poster. You can donate it to Goodwill after the show if you want. But I brought a poster. We've been working so hard. I've had multiple rehearsals every day for the last couple of weeks.
Can you bucket list me for a second? I've always wanted to do something here that's not allowed, but I'm going to do it.
All right.
I'm going to put that in our window.
Boom!
Yeah, I'm going to put that in our window. And we're not allowed to fucking do that. I'm going to put it in our window because as a business...
Is that really going to help?
As a business, I've always looked at this and I'm like, oh my God, it's like my very own drunken monkey. And I'm going to put some, like who's like the punk rock bands are playing and you want a poster? Put a poster in my window. I've always wanted to do that. Let me put it in the window.
Letters.
I'm going to flex. I'm going to flex real quick.
Do it.
Out of all the cool things that I've gotten to do through the means of entertainment, whether it be real radio, Tom and Dan, this is cool. My own show on the station.
Very cool.
Opening up for comedians that I've looked up to my entire life. There is one thing that I've unlocked that sits atop, is the zenith of the coolest things I've ever achieved. If you go to Beefy King, you will see a Ross Comedy Tabasco sauce sticker on their window.
Whoa! All right.
And I love Orlando so much, and I know what Beefy King, which is basically a gourmet in-house small business fast food restaurant, bajillions years old, and to have my little graphic design on that window. That's the happiest I have ever gotten when they told me that.
Tom doesn't like it when I dox people, but I slept well last night, so I have to say what I have to say. PR's Mexican restaurant here in town. I don't even know if it's still around, but the original one that was on the railroad tracks used to have a Tom and Dan sticker on the window. And Shannon Burke stuck a sticker over it.
Oh!
And I'll
how do you even know that?
I don't think I'll ever get over it. He may have texted it to me drunkenly one night. I don't think I'll ever get over it. I don't think I'll ever
with you.
I know he was. I don't think I'll ever get over it. I never had a chance to go back and put another Tom and Dan sticker over his Shannon Burke show sticker.
And you guys must have felt a really cool high when the partnership of, you guys love Central Florida. Central Florida loves you guys. And then when you got that banner over at Gringos, I remember Tom and Dan right there in Gringos and Milk District, this big cool thing behind the cashier. That must have been a moment of hell yeah, we are even more so part of Orlando and Central Florida.
Ross, let me explain this.
We had buses at one time.
Nothing moves the needle for us.
Especially for him. And for me, it's usually only for about 35 seconds. I'm like,
soak in the 35.
I'm like, of course the Tom and Dan is over at Gringos. I'm in a partnership with the owners and advertising. It's all money.
He did that because of money.
It's all, and so I can't ever look at something. I'll tell you one thing that did move the needle, and Daniel did this, was when the mayor gave us a Tom and Dan Day and the declaration or whatever, and then actually put it out on their social.
He did a video and everything. My wife saw the mayor's assistant yesterday. Heather, the mayor's assistant, we saw her yesterday. She's still a BDM. I take great pride in the fact that, the mayor's assistant loves this show. But some would say we rule this city by comedy.
But then I ruined it by looking how unimportant it actually was.
Everybody gets it.
And then it's just something that they do for they put it out there.
And then he said to himself, he's like, I'm too lazy to do something that doesn't matter that you can hang on your wall like Dad.
It's kind of like us giving a shout out to someone where it's like, and then you realize that
it's the mayoral equivalent of giving a shout out to your homie on an urban radio station.
Yeah. That's what he had.
Hey, Ross, you got anybody there in Central Florida you will give a shout out to? Ross, hit it, buddy.
I want to shout out to my wife. She's nice. She's nice. She's
Boom,
really cool.
there you go. That was you know what you sound exactly like right there? And you could do it, but we'd have to turn the camera off so you wouldn't get into trouble. You very much sound like Andre 3000 there.
Oh, God, dude, I wish I was Andre 3000. That's the coolest thing anybody's ever told me.
He's a cool dude.
He's the coolest.
He might be the coolest.
He is.
And will they perform at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame when they're inducted? They're going in. That's done.
Well, I guess of course the presentation would want them to. It's just a matter of will they do that? Because it's a pain in the ass.
Has everybody checked out Andre 3000's piano album?
The flute one?
No.
He has a piano one.
Yes. It came out. It came out on Tuesday. It is a follow-up to his flute album, which I believe is called New Blue Sun. This is a piano album that is basically like as if I gave a piano to Maisie and said, record yourself. But I like it. I do like it. But it's very much like this is what happens when you don't know how to play piano and you make a piano album. It's very artsy. You'll like it.
I'll throw it on in the back. You'll drive to it.
Yeah, it's called 7 Sketches. Thank you, chat room. Appreciate
10 more sketches.
Yeah. Well, this is 7 piano sketches.
Oh my God, my bad.
But that's why you should check it out.
Yeah, now I'm very curious.
Yeah, I wasn't kidding when I said you're going to like it. You will.
All right.
Because it's pure art.
Let's try to sell out Ross's show because all the money goes to Ross and Joel, and that's what's great about Fringe.
Put it back up again, so everybody can see it.
And easiest way to get tickets for this,
you can go to rosscomedy.com, bang, or you can go to the Orlando Fringe's website, orlandofringe.org. It is the coolest thing, in my opinion, that happens annually in Orlando. It's the oldest festival in Central Florida. Yep. It's weird always explaining.
It's the largest Fringe festival in the world, isn't it?
It's not in the world. It's I believe it's here in the continental U.S. that either we're the biggest or the oldest.
I know we're up there with Edinburgh, but we're not obviously we're famous for a different reason.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
We are I would say, easily a top 5 fringe festival on the planet, and that is due to the community. That the community coming out and supporting the arts that Orlando has. So shout out to the city of Orlando and everybody living here that has really made this festival so special over I think the last 30 years.
Tom and I have always partnered with Fringe, and I'd like to think that we're the reason it's on the map. Wouldn't you agree with that we're the reason?
I said 30 years.
I think we're the heart. I feel like we're the heart. I feel like we're the heart of it.
Well, it's also, I like Fringe because all the artists truly make the money from this, and this is unheard of in capitalism.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's like, you want to hear a sketch? Yes. Here's $10, Ross. And then he and Joel perform for you. That's exactly what it is.
It is awesome.
And we've worked with Fringe for a long time. It's hard for a company to do this where they give all the money back to the performers and the artists.
You know why it's hard? Because I don't want to.
Because there's no money for them to be made. You know, there's some. But you know what I'm saying? So they do this for not only Central Florida to enjoy all these great performances, but also for the artists to benefit and not to live in a world where giant corporations make all the money and fuck the artists.
Yeah.
You know, because that's a world we used to live in and still kind of do. But the internet's opened it up, and Fringe is as far as live goes. It's the only way for a lot of artists to be able to do this and make any money without renting venues and shit. You know,
Fringe festivals changed my life due to the success that my brother found in Fringe festivals.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because
100%.
I'm not sure our audience knows, and we didn't plan on talking about this, but knowing how much I know you and your brother know about fringing and Fringe, talk about your brother.
So, 2010, my brother gets an idea. He likes it. He hits up a friend and goes, yo, let's make this. It was called Six Guitars. He debuts it. God, man, that was 15 years ago.
It's also still one of my favorite Fringe performances I've ever seen.
It caught fire, and people still love it. He's doing it in Toronto tonight to a very large crowd, but it premiered here in Orlando. Orlandoans, Central Floridians were the first people to ever see this Orlando performer make a piece of art and it become his career. And that's the type of thing that you can see at the Orlando Fringe Festival. It changed my life because then I just rode his coattails traveling with him all throughout Canada. I went to Scotland with him for the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
Oh, so you got to go to Edinburgh.
I did, and I didn't tell a single joke because I was just there kind of like for a family vacation.
How many people are there when you're there? Like
the city in Edinburgh, I believe the population of that city quadruples for the month that the festival happens.
God.
It is insane.
And it's just wall-to-wall artists, right?
Wall-to-wall performers.
Puppetry and, like, old world stuff and new world stuff and experimental stuff and rappers and you name it.
Everything.
They got it. I like that energy. Like, I'm giving myself some goosebumps even talking about it. Like, and I think if you've never been to Fringe, what I would tell people is you buy your tickets to 10 More Sketches.
We are a great introductory show for the Fringe Festival because we're strictly comedy. You can see a one-woman show about her family story and how captivating it was for her, or you could see a completely different show like our show, a comedy show where we have a chat GED robot.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Or you could see some really crazy shit. Like I saw a lady with 2 dicks get nailed to a cross one time.
Look at that.
Yeah, and she was fully nude with strap-ons.
Everything is on the table.
Does that still happen as much? Because I remember like 10 years ago,
phases.
Fringe, there used to be like, hey, there's this naked guy who just stands there with a cowboy
He's
hat.
got a bloody dick.
Yeah.
Go see the bloody dick guy.
And it was. I felt like that was like maybe sensationalism that was used to market Fringe more, and more like I feel like now it's a lot of just really funny, high quality art.
Yeah,
you know?
Because we have year-round to essentially make a show. And then we found out that we were getting into the festival in December. So when December happened, we've had the last 5 months to just sit in front of a computer screen, write, rehearse. I think I smoked the ability to memorize lines out of my body, but that will not stop me because there's 45 pages to memorize, and I am almost there.
Do you have a process for that?
Just doing it over and over and over again. Sometimes you can record it into a microphone, the other person's part, so that you do. Oh, so then you're basically having to do the scene by yourself, to yourself, but you can memorize the lines.
Okay.
You should. We should use AI to create an AI Joel to practice with you.
Yeah.
Right? Like I feel like we're close to that. Right?
Essentially, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, I feel like we are close to that.
So, Daniel, maybe you have some of this too. But
he never calls me Daniel unless there's something serious going on.
When you were talked about you lost
butt cancer,
the ability to memorize lines, I started thinking because I've gotten horrible at this over the years, where to the point where I can't. It's extremely hard for me to memorize like a paragraph and then regurgitate that back to you. Mm-hmm. And I started to think, I'm like, I think it's because of 20 years of doing talk radio, and I've trained my brain to be in the moment and just improvise talk with people.
What is that, like Ariana Grande? Okay, next. Yeah, my brain is always like next, next.
Instead of dudes, it's just thoughts.
Yeah, seriously, I'm swiping left like hot, like
yeah. To the point where
that is what it feels like, because even when you're talking, and I feel bad, he'll be telling a story about like Edinburgh, like literally like something I'm interested in, and I'm like, you're interested in that, but not as interested as what the funny thing you want to fucking say after it is, you fucking idiot.
But even with like commercials, I can't verbatim read the commercial as much as I'll read the commercial and then say it in my own way, and I can do that. But I can't just read. But Daniel's good at reading. It maybe it's something like you're doing radio for so long. It's the like memorizing a script.
You kind of just described kind of my belief in kind of comedy right there, and also how we're going about this show. There are times that we can fuck around, play a little bit. You know the joke, I know the joke. Let's live in the joke, and then you trust that little radio muscle part of your brain that's like, I know this is good. This is the right thing to say, and then you trust your gut. You're trusting yourself. If I were to define what you just described, it's your brain trusting yourself.
And this will be funny, and this improv, like,
So there are some parts in this show that we know that he's a funny person, I'm a funny person, we trust ourselves. Why would we
see why you weren't included in that?
Why would we want to handcuff?
You see why you weren't included in that?
I
want to make sure he's listening to me when I'm being mean to him.
But why you don't, in my belief for this show and this idea is that we don't want to be handcuffed to a script, even though we believe in the script, we think it's fun, we wrote it, but what happens if we say it this punchline, instead of a ham sandwich, it's a tuna casserole?
Yeah. I think that's where the funniest movies are written in, like the funniest scenes in shows, fucking Kenny Power, like those guys.
Yeah.
Like where
I always get caught up in the details. If they reference something that's so wild, that'll stick with me for hours.
Seems like Righteous Gemstones could be a little like that.
1,000%.
They do it like it's written, and they do it a couple more times to see if the improv is funny.
How do you and Joel hash out a scene or a sketch?
We get the hardest part about writing sketch comedy, at least if you ask me, is finding the engine. Sure, you can have the character. Sure, you can have the jokes, but what are we doing? What is the engine of the I can use last year's sketches as an example. We have, I loved the idea of a homophobic gay cowboy. Mm-hmm. Hilarious to me. Joel and I were talking. We were improving a scene, and Joel made the joke of why do I not like gay people, gay men? Have you ever tried loving one of them? And this guy's character is just. He's homophobic because he keeps getting his heart broken from gay dudes.
Completely understandable.
Which is just such a funny thing. And then just trying to get the most out of the concept of a homophobic gay cowboy. How do we get the most out of that? Let's set up with another monologue, but is in the same vein of it. You just try to always polish. You like something, now let's get the most out of it. So when we come together and we write together, we always want an answer to the question of why. If we don't have a question, or if we don't have the answer to the question of why are you saying that, or why are we doing it like this, then it usually gets cut.
butt fucking hurts. You can use that.
I like that.
That's
I like
my
that. Cut that
homophobic
out.
gay cowboy.
You know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of something I was cutting up earlier this morning. Let me see if I can find this for you guys.
But there's
check this out. This was ruffling a lot of feathers earlier.
Hold on, we're getting feedback, Ted, before we start.
I should hope so. I'll give you some fucking feedback. Why don't you?
Hold on.
Like this. This is what I wanted. Hell yeah.
Are you getting some feedback?
Yeah, there you go. A little feedback.
I'll give you some fucking feedback.
I'll give you some fucking. That's our character we just invented. There he is. I hate gay cowboys.
But it's just, there's nothing better than writing a scene, having a and I learned this from Jim Colbert. Let me quote my guy. When I first got hired and we started working together, he beat it into my brain of having a beginning, middle, and end is just so grossly underrated. Like having a clear-cut high, middle, Act 2 and Act 3, and he was referring to a 12 to 15-minute radio segment, but that never left me. That's every movie. That's every story.
Hold on, I got to make fun of Jimmy a little bit. This is a lot like my if you get one, you get two business plan. Where
And I used to work with a guy. Hold on, because all of these hosts, I've never fully transitioned to a host, and you shouldn't either.
Okay,
because it makes you a weirdo.
All right,
don't transition to be a host. I used to work with a guy that called himself the Grand Conductor, and this guy sort of does too. Like a true host is an egomaniac. Tom Van, Ross, Jim Cole. They're all crazy nut jobs. Us funny guys, stick with the funny guys because they're not fucking weirdos.
I'm just saying his greatest piece of advice. I go, sit down, Ross. Let me tell you what you need to know. You got to have a beginning, a middle, and wait for it, an end. Go out there and beat someone now.
It was
all right. You know that's the same shit he used to do.
What you're doing it.
When I asked him help with my goddamn woman in a comedy, he's
I got an idea. I got a premise for you. Asian drivers. There you go.
Right.
There you go. It writes itself.
Right. Tell a funny story about you and your wife. All right. There we go. Back to playing guitar. What the fuck is that? Anyway.
And it's so easy. Here's another part of the answer of how do we write scenes. I am hyper paranoid of an audience because when we're writing, and this is the 3rd, the 5th, the 10th time we've gone into that scene, it's really easy to forget that it's everyone else's first time seeing the scene.
Yeah, I'm bad about that.
It's very easy to get lost in the sauce.
And I'm not a stand-up guy. I've only done this and written. That's all I've ever done, and I get really upset with everything that I think that I write that I think is funny. He knows. He'll be like, just do that thing, and I'm like, I hate it already.
Yeah.
I can't. I was like, I hate it so much, I don't even want to do it anymore. Like I get real bored real easily.
There's so many times I think in writing comedy or writing anything or creating anything that your first idea is so the audience is like, hell yeah, we get this, we like this, and then you get to your 6th idea. And it doesn't match with the first 2 ideas. You kind of got lost on that 3rd, 4th, and 5th idea. Now your 5th and 6th idea does not match your 1 and 2, and the audience is going, what? I'm confused.
Yeah, because beyond just the sketch, it's the sketches.
Yes.
Yeah, I've never thought about that.
We have fought over the order of the sketches, just making sure that, you put the spicier stuff kind of towards the ends and have the Pixar-y sketches up towards the front.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I can't, there's some lines that I don't think you can get away with a colder audience in this show.
Yeah, and
specifically, I be coming and shit.
Yeah.
That's in the back half of the show.
Have you ever changed it on the fly?
Yes. Punchlines, yes. Order of show, no.
Okay. Ever thought something was going to work? Would have bet your life on it, tried it, and it did not?
Never bet my life. That's a great question.
Well,
man,
because we do it all the time, and I can't remember any, but I hate it when I do something like that, and then nobody laughs, and I'm like, oh man.
I was 5 for 5 on the the judgments that there are a couple of jokes in last year's show that I was like 100%. If they do not laugh here, I'm gonna quit because I'm delusional. I'm crazy.
I like that.
Then I am so wrong. Smoking gun evidence, that's the best joke that I can produce in this scene. And if they don't laugh, they're right, I'm wrong, peace. Like, I would feel crazy, because after all of, 15 years of writing and doing comedy, and if I can't predict them to laugh at least a handful of times, what are we doing here? But I'm happy to say they laughed all 5 times.
All right.
But, it must be with artists that, and I can't relate because I'm no artist.
No, I think you are. I think you're also you're also in a...
You know who says that? Artists.
No.
Yeah, I mean, he is, but he'll never take a compliment about anything.
I wouldn't do well being called an artist, and I'm about to have a badge that says it.
Yeah, that's true.
And this happens with bands too, where they'll make a song that becomes their most popular song. That was a throwaway bullshit that they did at rehearsal one day or whatever. They thought they were just something
Like Ye and his new Heil Hitler song, masterpiece.
So it must drive them crazy when they produce all this music and some song that was nothing to them or a throwaway or something that they weren't even necessarily proud of becomes their most popular hit.
I've thought about that as like with a cover. Like, imagine being like, I'll just use
How
this
far off could they be?
bad example because they have hits, but let's just say you're the band 311. But let's say your most famous song is 311's cover of that song by The Cure.
Yeah, people are like, "Oh, I love Weezer. Did you hear their Africa? That's their banger."
Yeah, like,
It's
oh,
like,
man, I would be really hurt about that. I would be very upset about
I got
that.
hurt when Weezer started doing covers. I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh."
Weezer's gone through a strange. That is a band that I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with Weezer.
I'm right there with you.
Sometimes they do things, and I'm like, "Don't do that, Weezer. I like you. What are you doing?"
Bass player's wife shot at the cops.
Yeah, we still haven't gone through that
Attempted
video
murder.
yet. She racked the gun, and then they fucking shot her in the shoulder, and she
Weezer.
ran inside.
Weezer is Weezer.
Yeah, who knew that the bass player from Weezer got that kind of blowjobs? Did anybody know that?
Yeah.
A girl that racks a gun and gets shot in the shoulder? My God almighty. I haven't had one of those since I was in college.
So good. You hear that news story, and you're like, "Damn, dude, that blowjob."
It's the first thing I thought of because you see the video of her, and she's hot.
If you shoot at the cops, I mean, that's some.
I'm going full misogynist. Like, she's hot, black yoga pants, all tatted up, standing out there. She's like, and they're like, gun right in the shoulder.
All right.
Crazy.
I feel like we should take a break.
Yes.
And then when we come back from the break, I'll tell Ross about taking my son to Hollywood Studios. For his,
okay. He knows theme parks.
11-year-old.
I was just at Hollywood Studios
for his 11th birthday, which also I got a little bit of parenting advice for Ross as well.
Okay. Unsolicited. We love to do that.
Oh, shit, he's in my back seat.
It's fine.
Shake.
Mild summer.
I let a window down, but not like the back.
See, on my car, I just put it in dog mode.
It was the sunroof.
You can do that for kids.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I'm trying to get legislation passed. Can we make it kid mode? Like, why is it dog mode?
Just leave the keys in the car with the AC on. That's what I used to do.
And tell him to lock the door. That's what my dad would do.
And then when you
my
get
dad
back,
would lock me in his Sable. And with everything on and the keys in the ignition and say, just don't pop the locks for anybody.
And then unlock it when I get back.
Yeah.
They know.
And then you do the trick when your dad gets back and you don't pop it out. He's like, don't make me put my cigarette out. He's mad as fuck. Okay. The name of the band, I've played him a couple times. This is for DeBerry Joe. He likes the ska. The name of the band is Catbite. I think their full-length EP came out today. This is Eyes Wide. We'll be right back with more on Mediocre Time right after this.
MyEternalVitality.com. We've talked about Dr. Powers and his team for a while. They could help you with any hormone imbalance that you may be suffering.
Or maybe your nutrition. That's what my wife is doing right now. Got another big update yesterday. We're closer to we're nearing 20 pounds down now. But imagine this. Imagine getting told by your nutritionist, hey, you're not eating enough. You're not eating enough food.
Yeah.
You could be going further down in weight. You didn't eat enough. Sorry, you got to grub more.
Yeah, they're tracking.
It's all macros. It's all science. It's great.
Yeah.
But you got to get to Dr. Powers to find out about it. And he's also doing something else, right?
Yeah, for Mother's Day, they're running a Mother's Day special with their Vitality Facial Rejuvenation 3-session package. It's 50% off. Normally it'd be $450, and now it's $225. It expires on May 15th, so you have to give them a call. 407-710-1840, or you could text that number, just mention Tom and Dan and mention Mother's Day, and you can reserve your free consultation.
Yeah.
But they do a lot at My Eternal Vitality, and this facial rejuvenation basically tightens your skin, helps lift saggy skin, your collagen.
I have a joke. I have a joke.
He
there.
can explain it to you.
I have a joke there about my ass, but I will not. I will leave it alone. I will leave it alone.
Maybe you could use the radio frequency on your ass.
Dear Dr. Powers, hi, it's Dan. Will you laser my saggy ass? Signed, Dan.
Cold hammer therapy. It's a whole process.
Cold hammer? That's what my wife calls me in the bedroom. I'm like, you better call me Cold Hammer. Give me that saggy ass.
Here's what the best part about My Eternal Vitality is. This is what rich people and celebrities have been doing for 25 years.
100%. Longer than that.
Yeah, it's just now we have Dr. Powers who worked for a hospital and now started his private practice and then wants to help people with their hormones and basically using what he's learned as a doctor to help all of us. And he's a listener. He's a BDM.
And the best part is
I can help your listeners.
And this is why Tom really likes him too, because you know that Tom's going to want what? I can hear you all saying it. The full explanation, right?
Yeah.
Dr. Powers, Rebecca on his staff, they will explain everything to you so you fully understand it and have a good a grasp of the science behind everything that they're doing.
Hey, here's the thing. Just sit down with him and talk to him. He'll explain to you. He's not a salesman. He's like, if you are feeling tired, you can't lose weight, all these things that middle-aged people go through.
Correct.
He's like, maybe I can help you. It all depends on, get your hormones tested.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things he can dial in for you.
Get your testosterone tested. But if you want to check out that Mother's Day package, again, just give him a call, 407-710-1840. It's myeternalvitality.com.
Propaganda. Was the last time you had your balls blasted off by a fucking Central Florida podcast playing some old school 90s punk rock, Tom?
I'll mention it's the last month of our AirT&D, so if you want to book it,
that's an excellent segue.
In June it'll be another Airbnb. But all the Tom and Dan stuff. It won't be the Tom and Dan.
No, don't over-explain. You'll make it confusing. It's just we're not doing it anymore. Other lady will be doing. She's a wonderful lady. She's a beautiful lady. Is she gonna pull it off with the AirT&D? Is she gonna do it? I think she'll do it.
All in all, though, a very fun venture was the AirT&D.
I don't know. I kind of hated it.
Fun is a weird word to describe.
He doesn't have fun, and I'm going to make a joke about it. So what do you want?
So wait.
It was a test to see if this would be plausible to do a Tom and Dan themed Airbnb.
I thought you were going to say a Tom and Dan theme park.
And it was.
Yeah.
And so we may do it again. The problem is we did this all at a time where the real estate prices were continuing to go up to a point, and then interest rates to where we were going to buy a place, and then
chat room weighing in. Renting a rental house is an interesting investment strategy.
There's lots of Airbnbs that do this and actually make money.
You can make money doing it. The area would not have.
We could make money if we charge more, but we always wanted to charge a reasonable amount so that our listeners can stay. But then it turned out more non-listeners used it than listeners.
Yeah. So then they show up and they're like, "Who the hell is Tom and Dan?"
Correct. You know who used it the most? Now we can say, because we're getting rid of it. A lot of old lesbians use that place for fuck parties.
These
old lesbians get in there just munching each other like madmen. Mad women.
It's funny, because we did it for years. There was the youth baseball would come into Central Florida, and then we'd have
youth
2 weeks of
baseball
booking
versus old lesbians
for youth baseball, 2 weeks straight. The parents of kid baseball, little leaguers, would rent it.
Yeah,
And
Tom
then-
would make me take the toilet cams out.
So
and then the jizz, Ross.
That's a funny joke.
The jizz.
So much jizz. And our listeners-
Everybody's like,
our
"Oh, there's
listeners would
jizz
book it.
everywhere." I'm like, "Why
Ross.
do you say that? No one jizzes that much."
Okay, this is why Ross, Good Sauce with
fuck?
Ross and Joel, you would never, your listeners would never email you and be like, I just rented your Ross, I just rented the Ross Air Tea, or the whatever, and I'm come crazy.
sauce T&D
I'm saucing it up with like, you got Ross sauce, well I got Timothy sauce all over your fucking oven.
I'll tell you good sauce.
You don't have crazy listeners like us.
No, I not that. Well, there's a handful. There's a handful, but I'm proud to have
we
their
had a
ears.
guy named Eat My Wife's Pussy. I had to promise to change his name. That was the man's name.
No, now he loves it. He's making the medallions with it.
There's an accusation that was just thrown out a little bit earlier, and I would like to pry a little bit.
Oh, please.
He just looked at you, and you took it right on the chin. You didn't disagree at all. He said you don't have any fun. Well, talk to why you don't like fun.
He does not like fun.
Even
Now you're doing it, Ross.
Well, what is
This
fun?
will be your last appearance on the show. I can guarantee you that.
No,
'Cause
I
you
like
just-
fun.
Yeah, you know what you just did? You tried to take the Dragon's gold. And you never take the Dragon's gold. You play video games, you know.
It's in my son's like this, and we were born this way. Lady
Gaga.
Yeah.
And
Lady
it's-
Gaga 316. Yeah, I got it.
we only have fun around other people having fun. Like, we don't know things are fun unless you tell us, and then you're having fun. And then I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
When he
I like
explains
it.
this, it's when people can look at me and they're like, he's not the crazy one. I love it.
This is not that crazy because the people are born this way, obviously. Because my son, his brain wired the same way. I don't know why.
The wiring basically going, am I allowed to have fun?
Yeah,
It's not even I'm allowed. It's just I only have fun when people around me are having fun. And
What
that's
if
when I
everyone
know
around
fun
you is crying?
Then it's like, oh, sad. And so whatever's happening around me, that's how I know how to feel.
So like the
So
things
your
are
hypercolor shirt.
I don't know.
But then things around you, creatures of our surroundings, that's an everybody thing, then those surroundings are telling you, like, yes, you are allowed to have fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Like if
Yeah, like how would you know when to join in a swingers party with
That's
this
different.
condition that you have? I don't think you could.
That's different. That's
Is it here?
I know how
hi,
to do
ma'am.
that.
Yeah, excuse me.
Hello, sir.
Do I rub the man's shoulders or the wife's shoulders? I don't know. I'll just go eat a sandwich.
Oh, that's the final boss.
No.
I'll just go eat shrimp.
Okay, this is part of my problem with theme parks that I've said over the years, that people are tired of hearing it, and the people are maybe
level
asking
segue right there if I've ever seen one.
with why do you even go? And then really my family has cut me out, and they got their own passes, their yearly passes.
You know, I
because they
found that
realized-
out secretly, and I didn't bring it up. And I want you to give me a visual hug. I have known for months that you've been cut out of theme park time, and
I was happy.
I know, but I never brought it up to say, well, that's weird.
Yeah, because I don't have any emotion.
Right? I never.
It's very weird.
Because if my sons are like, oh no, we want you to go, we only have fun if you go, then I'd go and I'd
Yeah.
tough through it. I'd pretend do anything, but they don't care. They're like, it doesn't seem to be your thing. We'd rather you just stay home.
You ruined it for us.
Yeah.
Bye.
and then I'm like, okay, great, you're having fun. It's fine. I'll just sit here.
Are you going to have your
do work.
complaint face on all day?
I will take whatever fatherly advice you're about to shoot at me, but just know that that situation, the tables are turned so much. The roles are reversed in that scenario where the kids are looking at the dad going like, we're not going to bring you unless you have fun.
But then I'm like, well, I'll have fun if you. Okay, so
yeah, it's a catch.
But then Tommy's like, I only have. Okay, so
You can say it. I'm not going to judge you.
So it starts from the beginning. Crystal's like,
I feel like I should be playing music right now.
Yeah.
what do we get? Tommy's like me, and it's hard. I realized through Tommy how hard it is to be around myself, which has enlightened me to life. Really, if without Tommy, I wouldn't have understood myself. And I see him, and
Hell fucking yeah.
Yeah, that's a big
Yeah.
dad statement.
I like that.
And then so maybe it'll help me help him through, like, no one was telling me like, oh, this is why you're fucked up. You got to do it like this. Because people are gonna tell you you're crazy your whole life. Because
that's why we're in business together. The only thing we have in common.
So anyway, so Tommy for his birthday, he's like, I don't really, I don't really want anything, whatever. So we're constantly trying to like show him
This was a real frustration. Like he's been telling me because I
doesn't know what he wants.
I chirp. I go like, hey, do you pick out what he wants for his birthday? And I already know the answer. And I was like, no, absolutely not.
So it's like, hey, what do you want? I don't know.
Yeah, it's like, and then I suggest something. I'm like, how about a new bike? He's like, yeah, I guess so.
I've heard that before.
And then it's like, well, do you really want it? Like, because I want you when I do.
Yeah, you want to go to Qdoba tonight, or are we going to Moe's?
When I take the sheet off, I want you to be crying, you pumping your fist, fall on the ground, like
red face, you can't breathe.
Like
oh my
a
God,
big black mama.
paramedic.
I want you to act like I see in the videos of the,
Yeah.
You ever seen a video?
See color for the first time.
You ever seen
Yes,
that's a good one. Yeah.
Yes.
Or when they hear for the first time,
Your dad's back from war.
Yeah.
That's what you want, but via PS5.
Yeah. You know, the most exciting. He wanted a lazy stick.
I told you not to talk about that. I told him specifically. I go, this is the one that's going to prove you're crazy if you talk about this, because that means you just watered it down.
Anyway, you want a stick to close the door from his bed so he doesn't get up.
It's also the coolest thing ever because I'm like, I wish my kid would ask for shit like that. 'Cause that's hilarious. Like, what do you want for your birthday? I want a stick to close my door so I don't have to see you anymore.
And then compression socks, and I would also like the strawberry hard candies.
Anyway, so
The little T-Rex arm to pick up trash, too.
So Crystal and the boys have like season passes or whatever, the year of passes.
Yeah, you don't even know. They have a secret society at this point.
It's an annual pass.
So Crystal was like, hey, how about we skip school, play hooky, and take you to Hollywood Studios, and then
smoke some cigars like Pinocchio.
and then we'll show your dad, Rise of the Resistance ride and all of the Star Wars world.
Are you a Star Wars guy?
Yeah, but we watched it together.
All right.
Yeah. And so
Not a yes.
By the way, your question is a dumb
what does that
question.
mean
He's
by that?
not a guy. You could take anything
It's
that is
fine.
an interest and then put guy at the end of it, and he'll be none of those.
It's an entertaining
You
movie.
could even say to him right now, "Are you a podcast guy?" And you're like, "Whoa, what does that even mean? What does that mean? I don't know. What is that podcast guy?
Do I do that for a living?
Podcast
Yes.
guy. That's for babies. That's for children."
So anyway, and then the kids are like, yeah, okay. I'm like, how is that? They're like, oh, I can't wait for tomorrow. They're none of that. It's just like wake up and they're like, hey, we're going out there. Like, oh shit, I'm playing video games. So, I'm like, well, you don't want to stay here? I'll go outside and play with.
They forgot they were going.
And it's just like we just like
that's
missing
right.
school. We hate school. And I'm like, God damn it, Maisie loves school. I tell them that.
Love school.
And they're like,
my daughter, they did fast testing this week. My daughter, it's 2 days. After the first day of fast testing, she got up early and woke her mom up to see if she could log in to check her score.
Well, but that's another thing.
She's a psycho like her mom.
Andrea had Maisie, the same thing. I hated school, and I go, of course they hate school. And that's what I hate about it. I'm like, oh, God, they're mean.
I called her this morning. It's very disrespectful. I said, you are a computer printer. You literally just printed your daughter out of your vagina, and it's just you. It's just a copy of you. Like
Command-C, Command-V.
Yeah.
Here's what the advice.
Command-V works.
Yeah.
The advice is, and it was Tommy's, he turned 11, right? And I was like, God damn. I was like, going to middle school next year, and I'm like, we started.
Did you get him a razor like his dad?
When I quit radio, Crystal was pregnant. It was like 11 fucking years ago.
Yeah. That's right. I remember that feeling.
But
I've been there.
Yeah.
So then
I think all three. It's the one thing we all three have in common.
All three women were pregnant?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I want you to yell at people when they tell you when you're out with your baby and they say, "Oh, hey, it goes fast." Mm-hmm. Because there's no way of stopping that. You see what I'm saying? And so why even tell people that?
It's a fool's warning. What are you telling me?
So when they walk up to me and they see my baby, they're like, soaking in, man, it goes fast.
Yes!
You want me to go, what the fuck you want me to do about it?
Yeah.
What do you want me to
very
do?
common, Dan.
Just tell him, my friend Tom Van told me that it doesn't matter. I could spend every waking moment with this kid, and in 10 years, I'm going to be like, God damn, you're 10? It fucking went fast. So, because I tried to let that soak in, and people are like, oh, it goes fast. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to, have time anxiety about every goddamn weekend. It's got to be something, whatever. I thought so much time.
And by the way, you haven't all been doing that.
Why are we doing this? Because you're 8.
His sons have been to Hawaii 9 times. It's like, what child needs to go to Machu Picchu? You know what I mean? Like, these are weird things to do.
And then I still feel that way. So it didn't stop anything. I still feel like it went fast, just like the other people, and I could have done nothing. I could have went out for an 11-year pack of cigarettes and turned back.
The good Charlotte.
And then thought the same shit.
Good Charlotte.
And they're like, it's fast. Well, it's the same fast if I spend every minute. Anyway.
It went fast because you guys were doing stuff.
But it always goes fast. It just how your brain will perceive time after a certain amount of time. You'll be like, oh, what happened? There's 18 now? No shit. It always happens. There's no way to stop that.
And I noticed that when you posted some photos of your adventures, you said, I did laugh at it. You said, I hope I get to hang out with you for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I'm also awkward posting social media shit.
It was good. I thought you did a good job. Don't overthink it.
So the problem that I see with that caption...
I did a dumb one, too. I posted my daughter dancing, and I said, I love you so much. What the hell is that garbage?
When Tom hits that caption, what'd you say? I want to hang out with you...
Forever.
Forever?
Yeah.
See, that just doesn't match the building. That doesn't match the source coming, because I see this. No fun... They don't want to do stuff.
It's in there.
I want to yank this fun out of you.
You know what? The anxiety. I feel like the time anxiety, the anxiety of losing that fun is tamping it down. There's fun in there. Trust me.
My whole social media is I'm doing it all for my sons to read back when I'm dead. You see what I'm saying? That's how I imagine it.
That's epic.
Yeah. But every night I write an email to my daughter as if I were dead.
I am dead.
I'm like, this sucks. I'm like, this is me from the grave. It's very, it's weird. I'll tell you about it later.
I'm not good at it yet.
Yeah.
Because that's the only motivation I could think of to make this post. Because if it just thousands of random strangers reading this is bizarre. It's a bizarre motivation to be like, I'm going to show this to thousands of random strangers and tell them I love my son.
It's exactly why I do it too.
Weird.
Like, I do not do it.
It's a weird thing we do.
It's not like, hey, look at this. It's more of
here's my son's birthday party.
I want you to know. Yeah, I even wrote that on Maisie's last thing. I was like, I love you so much. It was like, well, and then I analyzed it later, like, why did I write that? And I think, to go along with what you're saying, I feel like in this new digital world, I felt like I needed to stamp that somewhere, so in case she wanders upon it, she sees it and there is no doubt, which is dumb. It doesn't even make any sense.
A 3-year argument, you talk about digital space and digital rules. What do I do? Do I post up family? My wife, at the time girlfriend, she was always really upset with me for the first 3 or 4 years that we were together because I did not change my relationship status on social media. And she cared about it a little bit more than I did. I understand I have the option. It still says I'm single and I've been dating you for 4 years. Mm-hmm. But I just did not want to give social media that weight. I didn't want to give them the status of that your role in society now needs me to update your website, which is about me.
Yes.
I didn't want to give them that weight.
We feel obligated, right?
You feel obligated, and I fought back for the longest time.
Well, what are you trying to hide?
Who the fuck are you?
Are you trying to open up messages for other whores?
If that is your real name.
My wife has entered the room. That was kind of
what are you thinking?
He's good at playing wives. When we do role play, this guy crushes it on wives.
Yeah. I'm good at understanding how crazy people think. And then I'm infiltrated.
I'm in there every day.
I'm like the cop that's in the Hell's Angels. I know everything about the Hell's Angels.
You've done 10 years undercover.
He actually had to kill somebody to stay there.
So.
I have to ask this, though. I've always wanted to throw out this theory about time, because you brought up something that I've kind of been in a mental trap before, especially since becoming a dad and just getting older. When you're 20 years old, a year is, what is it,
1/20th of your life.
1/20th of your life. Right. So 5%. Is that right? 5%.
Sure.
5%. When you're 30, that is now less.
Yes.
A year starts to feel like a month.
Yes.
And I wonder, I've always kind of thought this, my little theory about, because I've been told it goes by quick. And my theory is like, it goes by quick because I'm older. That a year is literally less percentage of my entire existence.
Yes, yeah.
Like when you get older, life starts kind of happening faster and faster. So that's always been kind of like, I kind of agree with you. That's what I'm trying to say is when people say it goes by quick, I'm like,
Well, there's no way to stop it. That's what.
Yeah.
Don't give me advice if I can't do something to change it. Why are you telling me?
It's like
hey,
walking past a person with a horrible. It's like walking past me and saying, you are short.
Yeah.
I can't do anything about it.
It's like those memes. In 150 years, strangers will be living in your house and no one will remember your existence. Why are you telling me this meme?
oh, cool.
No shit. I know how, like no one remembers their great-great-grandfather and his fucking personality and what he even did. Like, everybody will eventually be forgotten.
What a fun time to drop the care emoji.
Why are you telling me?
What if the time goes faster, at least for me? Mm-hmm. What if time goes faster because everything around you matters less?
Ooh.
Like, I care less about everything around me because it's just...
You think apathy can speed up a week?
Yeah, like, I mean, like, my wife, my kid, all of this, the show, everything.
Yeah.
I've done this.
Yeah.
It's like, just, come on, let's get it faster. I've done this shit.
You
Wrap it up.
you got good at it. That's what, like that first year of being a dad is not, I guess being a dad is different because they keep growing, but first year of, being married compared to now, very different types of conversations.
Oh, yeah. My wife is like, we should sleep the way the Swedes do it with 2 separate blankets. I know Dan.
Two separate blankets.
Yeah. Like I have a comforter, and then I have a quilt, and then I have a sheet that I like because I like a lot of. I'm a cozy boy.
Triple sheet.
And my wife likes just one blanket, like a peasant woman.
Yeah.
So she sleeps like a Russian or Polish peasant.
She's a hot sleeper.
Yeah, and I sleep like Vladimir Putin.
And you know what I say to that? I'm like, well, what do I care? I'm like, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But
then she doesn't want to do it. Oh, that's the worst answer for her, though.
So why are you telling me? Back to the theme park. So we go to the theme park. It's hot. Wednesday was like 90 degrees. And so we're walking around.
Things are damp.
And so we go into the...
Could they, just real serious question for theme park guys, could they use a white material and that would make it like less hot at the theme parks? There's no change in that. Is there any technology
It's Florida
that we could throw at a concrete theme park? Because it is getting to a point, and this comes with age, where it's not as much fun for me to go there because it is steamier on the concrete.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be hot, I like some water to put my feet in, like
90
old Ben say,
90 in Florida, it's just hot. And whatever. So
but you need that water because when it gets that hot, you got to treat yourself like an a la mode.
Yeah, even a splash pad.
Yeah, you got some ice cream in.
You got a kid, a little one. Yeah, splash pads are where it's at.
So Crystal does the lightning passes or whatever. She's plans it all
even
out.
Know what it's called?
And
don't email me about that.
So we get to Smuggler's Run inside the Star Wars Universe Hollywood Studios. Right?
Yes,
and it looks cool. By the way, like they put a lot of effort into decorating the entire world.
I believe it's Batu.
That's what it was.
Batu, yeah. I'm kind of proud and embarrassed at the same time on that one.
So,
Batu.
Walk up the Smuggler's Run. There was a problem with the ride where the previous riders who were stuck into the actual, spacecraft that you get into for,
I appreciate you calling
an
it that.
extended period of time.
Do you see how we had to set aside the anger of calling it a spacecraft? Because that means make-believe.
And angry guests were coming out bitching at the employees, and I walked up on it, and then there's people are like, "We are stopping, bitch," and this person's just, and then I'm like, "What are you doing?"
Fuck you, Han Solo. Your rod's a piece of shit.
They're not the engineers that built this.
My balls.
Why are you yelling at the kids that are in the front of the line?
And they're just kids.
I'm just like kids, but are the employees that have nothing to do with the engineering of the ride?
They just want to trade pens with you, for Christ's sake.
What is that instinct? I need to yell at these people and ruin their their day.
I really
Because
hate it. And you know what? And I'm the worst for that because if
What is
somebody
that?
yells at somebody and they don't need to yell, now you've made an enemy, and I will ruin my family's day to set that person straight and make a scene. I will yell at them.
That's baller.
Yeah, I'll be like, don't be yelling at people, man. Don't be, which makes me almost just as bad.
And they're not yelling, they're just complaining. But I'm like, what are you complaining? What will this fix? Like, you were stuck in the ride. It was obviously a mistake.
Nothing can be done.
Like, it's like they want something free, right?
You expect perfection from imperfect creatures. So I would say the first thing that that's not the only thing that's gone wrong. More than likely. Either they missed a reservation or something, like there's so much stress that goes in. Do I disagree with people yelling at them? Of course.
That
there's
is
no
a
need.
very mature.
They want
I've
something for
worked at a
free.
theme park and seen the frustration in parents' faces answer. That's a great answer.
It is not, that's not their first strike on the day.
Yeah, but is it they want? I call it the emotional tax. Is it I was frustrated and mad, so now I have to pass this mad frustration on to this random stranger who works here?
You should use emotional terror. Is
it emotional terror?
That's way more.
And does that I feel good for them? Like, I put this on them, and that makes me feel better. Is that?
I mean, from an emotional person standpoint, when I do lash out emotionally. Yes, there is a little bit, and I'm sure it's different for every person that maybe loses their cool. For me, yeah, it's more of, and you've seen me do this, it's more of a release valve. It's very little of it is rooted in facts or even reality. It's more of a, right? It's like, you've seen me do it. Like, it's mostly, it's just like a response of my body and brain, namely my brain, producing so much chemicals at that time that I have
It's just an eruption.
I have to fucking do something.
He's just saying nonsensical things.
But I will not do that. If I'm on a ride and it's like terrible, I'm not going to I'm reasonable enough to not complain to somebody.
So, have you been to Smuggler's Run?
I have.
Okay, all right. So, the ride at Daniel, you've never been, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
I think that world, the ride, is this the one that changes every time you ride it?
So, there's two rides.
There's buttons you have to push in there. So, get it.
That's Smuggler's Run,
Yeah. So, it's basically, you get in the spacecraft, it's 6 people, 6 guests, and it's me, Max, and Tommy, and Crystal. We're 4 of them. And then there's a parent.
And Harvey.
And his daughter, and I think this guy's from New Jersey or New York or something.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
I can fix this Millennium Falcon.
And there's no way to really tell who you're going to be in the craft with until like the line fleshes itself out.
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
all of a sudden now you're on a little stand and you're like, okay.
You know why pizza's better? The water.
And they're like, all right, so someone's going to be the driver. Then there's the engineer and the gunners, right? The gunners are in the middle. So then
And you raise your hand and you're like, oh, excuse me, who's the boss? Because that's me.
And then so the father from New Jersey and his 5-year-old daughter were the drivers. And then we had this guy. I was like, Tommy, do you want to be a gunner? He's like, I don't care. I was like,
It's like asking yourself, do you want to be here?
I was like, are you sure? I'm like, no.
I see where they got it from.
I'm like, no one wants to be an engineer. I was like, it's the worst job. Like the driver and the gunner and the engineer's got their shit job.
It is the shit job.
So
you know what I said? My joke to my wife, I was like, ooh, engineer, that's girls.
Just make 4 gunners and a driver, a stupid engineer.
I'll make all of the jobs awesome. It's me like murderer, space missile man. Everything's gonna be rad.
My favorite part is that this morning started off with like, we're going to Hollywood Studios. Do you guys care? Sure.
And then Tommy's like, I'll just be an engineer. It's fine. I'm like, no, you come here and be a gunner. Like, you want to be an engineer?
You're a fan. You're a fucking gunner.
And then Chris was like, quit telling him what he wants. And I'm like, well, why would you want to be an engineer? Why would you choose that? You want to be a fucking gunner as a kid, right? Like,
especially in Star Wars. Like,
I don't want
look,
to be
in
an
the real
engineer.
world, maybe an engineer just based on money.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm talking about in Star Wars, no engineers allowed. I want to be a gun. I want to be a Wookiee.
And how old, right?
11.
John
11, dude, that's prime for gunner.
And I'm like, the goddamn New Jersey dad, his daughter has got to be a fucking driver. And
I'm driving over here.
I'm doing it. She's doing the best.
Hey.
So they usher us in and we sit down and then I was like, oh, I didn't even know what kind of ride it was. Like, I know nothing going into this. I didn't nothing. Like,
what is this, a play? What is Looks like Ross's 10 sketches.
And I'm like, oh, it's the stereotypical, like, I know it from Hanna-Barbera.
Yogi Bear's going to be here in a minute.
Yogi Bear.
What the hell?
Old school Universal. This is before your time, bro.
Oh, man. This is a Jimmy Neutron ride.
Where you sit on a couch and then it goes on the fucking, you fly through, you look at a screen and you're like, oh, it seems like
Hey,
I'm flying.
boo-boo, we got to get the pick of the day. Yeah, I remember that, right?
Is this Murder, She Wrote?
Yeah, so I'm like, oh, it's the thing
Great
that the screens act like you're going somewhere and the whole thing moves to pretend like you're going.
Yeah, it's called a ride.
No, but it's a screen.
Screens are moving and we're moving.
I sat down, put on a harness.
Yeah, had some glasses on.
So we sit down, they do the whole spiel, whatever, the engineer, and I'm like, they got the shit job. And so we take off, we're flying, right? So we're flying around, I'm watching, I'm like, oh shit,
Also,
it's
a
cool.
little make-believe on that we took off thing. I'm proud of you for saying that.
No, but
And then what position are you? Are
I'm
you
the gunner, I'm the left-hand
So
gunner.
you're a gunner.
Yeah. But,
And 11-year-old is engineer.
yeah.
Are you paying attention to what's happening on the screen?
So
Jesus.
this
Motherfucker's over there in his mind.
We're flying around, and then at one point of the ride, the New Jersey dad's like, the gunner's not doing anything. I'm like, oh shit!
Hey, the fucking gunner's leaving us high and dry over here.
And I'm
Who's
like,
the fucking gunner?
I'm like, oh, did these actually do something? And then I'm pushing the button.
Hey, you limp-wristed liberal gunner back there ain't doing shit. I know who you voted for.
And then I'm like, hey,
He's making it political. He's yelling at
You shoot like a podcast guy.
But doesn't the guy? The ride does what it's going to do. It's not like if I'm pushing, it's not going to change anything.
Okay,
does it?
Yes, it does.
Like, but not that much.
A lot.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you had to really hit the buttons. I thought it was going to do what it was going to do. I thought the buttons were just there for fucking around.
Yeah, and then I pushing, and it does shoot some stuff. But I'm like, yeah, but the overall experience is the same if I push this or not push it.
He's telling that to the Jersey guy.
No, I'm just telling you.
My wife in the
No, it
chat room.
scared me. I was pushing it, and then I'm like, oh, I fucking can't pay attention now. I'm fucking pushing these buttons.
My wife in the chat room in all caps yells, "Just play along, goddammit."
Yeah, but I can't even experience the ride. I'm pushing the button now because the New Jersey
Well, you
guy.
can't hit your button while you're looking up.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
They
Take
only
your hand.
push it when it lights up, and there's two sets of them.
So you have no peripheral vision? You're just like a racehorse. Fucking racehorse.
But now I want to look around at the technology.
We got a fucking racehorse over here as a gunner right now.
So then, the New Jersey, the daughter, she's way too young for this, starts freaking out and crying because it's too violent.
Terrible.
Yeah, and it's like it may have been a 4-year-old. So then she's like, I can't do it, and he's like, turn the wheel, and then so then he leans over, and then he's taking it way too seriously. He's now driving the throttle and
Get us the fuck out of here! I'm gonna die. Everybody calm down. I'm gonna save our fucking lives because the gunner over here is leaving us high and dry.
Engineer, we need a new rotator splint. Get on it.
The whole time she's crying, and then he's like, come on, get it together. He's yelling at her, and then he's
I'm telling you, after this ride, I'm killing R2D's nuts up there. I'm gonna choke him out.
And then I'm like, sir, I'm sure you're barely changing the whole ride experience.
But he thought he was killing it.
Yeah, but now you're yelling at your phone. She's crying. You're telling me that
She was the pilot?
Yeah.
That's the hardest role.
Yeah. Well, she was, he was telling her you're not doing a good job. He was, and he took over, and then she's crying.
That's Disney magic. Disney magic when you're yelling at your daughter.
The force isn't fucking strong with you here. I don't know what to do with
She
you.
probably saved like $6,000, $8,000 for the weekend. My God.
So then we ride Rise of the Resistance up next, right?
Now that one I have not been on.
Okay.
So real fast, quick little side story about Smuggler's Run. I wrote it. My wife had the baby. She goes, I know you like Star Wars. Go ride it by yourself. I went single rider. I showed up on a family of, I think, 4 or 5. Or how many people ride? 6?
Yeah.
I hopped in solo dolo on a family of 5 with the Robinsons, and then I got to do engineer, and I was just hitting the buttons, and I was just the creepy dude. I just crashed a family party. I was just ruining Christmas Eve. It was so
It is
weird.
a little awkward when you think about it to be sitting there just like executing your job while they're all like having a family moment.
Then it's just me in the background, like, hey guys.
Also odd, I was at a water park as well for Tommy's birthday. Like, he gets too much.
You're not giving him enough, I would say.
But I'm standing in line, and
Machu Picchu.
some lady's bikini ass is right in my face, like on the stairs.
Oh yeah, I like that.
But
You got to take advantage of that.
Yeah, but it's awkward.
It's the real smuggler's run.
Standing in, with,
No, it's
bathing
not.
suits with other adults
No, it's
in
fine.
the stairs in
No,
water
no,
park.
don't take that away from me. What are you doing? This guy's he's trying to seal up America over here.
It's allowed for you to not have fun.
Yeah.
We can still have fun.
Yeah. Hey.
No, but I'm saying it's just awkward. Anyway, so Rise of the Resistance. So there's a time in Rise of the Resistance. It's a cool ride, by the way.
It is.
What'd you think of it?
I thought it was the coolest ride that I've ever seen.
When I got off that ride, I also thought the same thing. That was the best ride I had ever been on. And then Epic Universe Stardust took that cake. But Rise of the Resistance made me feel like a 5-year-old boy.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I'm back to Hanna-Barbera. I'm used to the couch and the big screen.
You're chasing a picnic basket.
All the shit's in the same room. We're looking at it's a whole auditorium of couches, and we're like, just pretend like you can't
I
see
do
the
miss
other.
an auditorium movie.
Alfred
It's
Hitchcock.
literally only one notch better than John Goodman releasing the smells in the theater in Arachnophobia. Or like the theater men. Remember that? Where they had this jump scares and shit?
Yeah. Like, I'm in a real New York subway, and the ground is shaking. Anyway, so
You must have loved it.
Yeah, that was cool. And so and of course, you walk into that room, and all of a sudden, a spoiler alert, like the Empire took you captive, and now all the stormtroopers
I
are
didn't
staying
know
there.
There's a awesome part.
Yeah. And then in that, they actually have human employees that are playing like, like
Like the New Jersey Gad? Oh.
No.
So they're ride and show
What are they
employees.
called?
The same people who are like, all right, come on. How many? Those people are also tasked to get that same job done, but they're breaking you out of a prison. A space jail, essentially. So they're playing the role of the rebellions.
Yeah, but then also the Imperial, like when you first walk into the Imperial ship, the stormtroopers are there, and those are animatronic. But then the actual humans are playing like Imperial employees that work on the Death Star. I don't know where, I don't know the shit. But
They're pretty good.
They're basically playing villains. And they're
And you love that. You love it when you get to be part of the movie. Yeah, Tom loves riding the movie.
No, the kids like
Because if it requires him doing any role play, oh god.
So they're like, get over here, stand here. They're rude to you, which is but that's they're playing their characters or whatever.
You there, no fun. Up against the wall.
So then I'm
Podcast guy, get over here.
So I'm like, kids or whatever. And then we're standing there in line waiting to get into the room, right? And then they're walking. The employees are walking there playing their parts. So then I'm standing next to a lady that you could tell this lady's like obviously either been here before or wants to like show to everybody her improv skills and start interacting with this employee in a way.
God.
She's like, you can't hold us here. The rebellion's gonna. And then he has
Statute X9485. Sector 10.
And then he's
motherfucker over my dead body.
And then the employee is that now they're doing this improv.
I'll avenge my son's death. You'll see.
And then I'm like, please stop.
He's right here in this canister.
And I'm like, lady, please, you're embarrassing everybody.
You'll never get fucking away with it.
And then he's forced to do and I'm like, I need this guy just wants the end of the day to end. Like maybe he's having fun, but I just imagine
it's Ross under there.
Ross, he's been
Joe
the
supposed
shift
to go see Joel and finish writing the 10 more sketches.
I just want to go to work.
And then now he has to, and then the lady's like, using the fact that they have to, improv with you in character to like show everybody around.
I'd go too far. I mean, shut your fat ass up.
And then I'm like,
Listen
please,
to your pig.
Exactly.
please
Look at this little
stop.
space pig. You got a lot of meat on you.
But the whole thing, then the rest of the ride was cool or whatever. But it's like, what
What are the boys thinking during the role play?
they just said Sony. Which again, I love because I'm like, did you want to go here? Is this making your day? Was this?
Have they ever
dream?
wanted to go to any of the adventures you brought them to?
I don't know. Yeah.
But no one knows. There's no way of knowing.
We'll never find out.
Yeah, you could ask them, but I wouldn't.
There's one way to find out what they like. Search history.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
We're not there.
Yet.
Okay.
But when we get there, I know what it's going to be. Anal. Because it's everybody's. It's everybody's famous.
Okay.
Favorite, rather.
We'll end with this. So that Tommy wanted a phone number, right? Because he's going to middle school. And then he heard from
Get him
my
my Russell
niece.
Simmons rush card.
He's got one of our old phones that he uses at home or whatever, but he's like, I want a phone number because everybody's got a phone number in middle school, right? I mean, shit, most of his kids, his friends got phones now in 5th grade, but with the phone...
Maisie has friends that have phones. It's weird.
But with the phone, I'm just like, it's a constant battle of like, this is addicting to your brain. You constantly want, and then you have a sea of people just staring at their phones, and you're like, oh, this doesn't seem right.
Like, I let Maisie smoke weed with me, but I will not get her a phone.
Oh, wow. I'm kind of with you.
And then so we were worried because we'd heard that middle school now at lunch and stuff, because the kids are allowed to bring their phone to school. Not they can't have it out in class, but they can have it out in the hallway or like at lunch, or, and other times like even fucking PE.
Or you can put it up to your ear and rubber band it around your head. That's the only other approved way of wearing it.
Do you think that like the kid would get made fun of if it wasn't a smartphone?
Yes. Oh yeah. That's
100%, right? Because that's part of the problem.
So then,
you know what? You got a little more old man in you than I thought. That's a good idea. But he would get clowned.
Yeah.
So then then it's like, well, everybody's just out at lunch looking at their phones.
That's confirmed. Maisie tells me that the playground, and if you drive past her school, you'll look out there at recess. Now there are don't at me. There are still kids playing, but there's a group of kids sitting around this big tree that are all on their phones, and there's probably like 20, 25 of them. It's a lot of kids.
See, I'm not even sure. Like, and every school is different now, but they passed a law. And it's now being changed where no more phones allowed and until the end of the day. So they're banning them in Florida schools, which Crystal literally had like a religious experience where she was like almost broke down crying that this finally happened so she could rest a little easier because it did. She was like terrified of Tommy just going to middle school and then just being on his phone instead of like learning how to socialize with other kids and doing like healthy socialization that we all learn to do. It's like none of us want to talk. Like if I had a phone and there was like, oh yeah, you could just use this at school, and everybody was on it, I would have done the same shit.
I couldn't even be trusted. You know the little watch that I think remember the watch that turns into a robot that we talked about a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
I had one of those. I couldn't even be trusted to take that to school without taking it out and playing with it like a robot.
Well, yeah,
I mean, you want to keep me away from a computer in my pocket?
Yeah, we talk about phones and just having basically a supercomputer in your back pocket and what phones do to society. I've always wondered, and we're here. Your kids are part of it.
Yeah.
11 years old. 2009 is when Facebook hit smartphones, and that's kind of how I look at 2009 as the crossroad. You have some time travelers going to 2009 and going, wait. Don't do that with phones just yet.
Yeah.
I think 2009 is the year, which means every human born after 2009, or even around there, they've never known a world without looking down or seeing people looking down at their phones. Like, we look at phones because we remember a time where it was Pokemon cards or a physical thing or whatever it was for you guys.
Yeah.
Just, it is such a BC, AC moment, and I think 2009 is, I completely get your wife's fears when it comes to phones because we just don't have an entire generation of people yet who have lived with phones. We're not enough time has
there's no
passed.
experience.
Well, being
It's
alone,
like, here you go, figure it out, society, and they're like, okay.
And maybe I'm saying this wrong.
I'm
but
addicted to it.
It's almost like being alone. Like people can't. Like I think if you could snap your fingers and all devices in people's pockets disappeared, you'd have people freaking out where they can't just sit with themselves or sit in a room. Or they always have to be connected or talking to someone at all times. Why do you have to be talking to someone at all times? Why do you have to be connected at all times? What is that?
Because you have the ability to. We don't have to be forced to sit through boredom like we were, where there's nothing to do.
But it wasn't boredom. It wasn't because it like you.
Yeah, we learned
it's
how to
boredom because
occupy
we're
our
comparing it to
mind.
the phone. But it was a skill that I still think we still need, but we're not. It's atrophied and underutilized. I know I'm not as good as I used to be.
You just related it to having a conversation, the entire time. You don't need to have a conversation the entire time. Guess what? I would even disagree with calling it a conversation because it's really a one-way conversation. It's just us soaking in content.
It's a pipe.
Hearing opinions, seeing images, seeing, all those things. I wish my kid would get on a phone and talk to a human being the entire time instead of, did you see this? Did you see this? Look at this guy get gored by a bull.
Yeah, content or just, that spiked my whatever. They gave me a chemical boost.
I'm rooting for a human conversation.
That's why, because we don't let them have social media or the internet. Letting them have access to the internet would, in my mind, be the worst idea because there's fucking crazy shit on there. Obviously,
and it's so close. It's so close.
But he wanted just to text back and forth, and he does do that where he wants to have FaceTime conversations.
But he texts these old men. He has a bunch of old men he likes texting.
And these are hurdles that are specific for this time in parenting and human history. There's no rule book, I would say, that everyone knows and trusts when it comes to what to do with technology and children, because this type of technology has never existed with this level of accuracy when it comes to ads or we know what you like. It's not a TV channel that everyone watches. It's your own TV channel. It's your own algorithm that keeps you on it.
It's hyper-curated, so there's almost no way out of it.
Yeah, it's very, very good and accurate.
It's exactly what you want at all times.
I found out that my dog I needed to bring her to the vet because of a targeted ad recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was like, is your dog doing this, and this? I was like, yeah, all 4 of those things. And I went to the vet and then my wife brought her to the vet and then helped out because she had a paw thing.
No,
that was a targeted.
Then they sold you some medication.
Some mumbo jumbo.
That ad works. But I'm gonna write this down.
Throwing this out here, though.
Throw out random things that all dogs have and force them.
But does your dog have a wet nose? You need to talk to Tom and Dad.
But the ad, I didn't go through the ad. I just took him to my vet. So we did. But it was just so insane though to see an ad. Like, how do you know what?
Yeah.
What do you guys actually know? I thought it was breathtaking. Probably the best moment of the year was going to the previews for Epic Universe because they had the hardcore black and white rule: no phones.
Oh, so good.
And everybody who went to those previews will agree it was magical. It was different. Nobody was bending down. Nobody was taking photos. It felt like 1996, and it was phenomenal. Dare I say, borderline preferred.
Yeah.
I think everybody really enjoyed going, I forgot what it was like to not be on my phone at that degree in this much fun of a place.
I felt the same way with Dave Chappelle when we had to stash our phone. I enjoyed the night. I wouldn't say that he was my favorite stand-up performance or it was the greatest stand-up performance, but overall, the night was a better night. Like, it seemed like everybody engaged better. You know what I noticed? I didn't drink as much. Because I think I get on my phone pre-gaming, and I'm just on my phone reading bullshit and slamming beers, and then I go to watch the show, and I'm fucking out of it.
What do you do in line at the theme parks without your phone?
I try to just stand and stare at a woman's camel toe. Is that bad? I do the Mel Gibson. I'm like, I can see your pussy from the back.
I start peeping moose nuts.
Yeah, exactly. He knows.
All right.
I would say to answer that question, though, having a good conversation, and I know it's ironic because that's what we're doing.
He doesn't talk to his children.
But getting better at a conversation, it's such a muscle, and sometimes you do have to be the bigger person in a conversation for it to keep going and maybe have some level of entertainment.
How long have you been with your wife?
I've been with her. We just celebrated 8 years.
Okay.
And we still, now granted, 8 years isn't
nothing compared to this guy. Goddamn.
8 years is not 30.
You might as well be looking at Abraham Lincoln.
There is a point in a relationship where, like, I've heard it all. In fact, your opinion frustrates me.
Yeah, Andrea.
And I'm not saying that's my wife's brain talking. So
You may not get there. There may be true love in your relationship. You may not get there. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see.
It's just, we know where you're going with it.
God, there's not enough money in my bank account that could pay to see you on that Smuggler's Run. I just said,
how much does the lasers make a difference?
You're arguing with a New Jersey guy going, it doesn't make it. There's no change. No change.
Okay, so if I hit the lasers, or don't hit the lasers at all.
Is it the same ride, different ride?
Yeah, what's the
To what degree?
fun level of it? Like
80% better if you hit the laser?
Am I laser hitting going to make this ride better for all of us? Because if it is at all, I will try to do a good job. But if it's not at all, then I'm just going to sit here.
I'm just going to sit here and enjoy it.
No, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands. Soft as shit. This guy
we'll
can't
take our break.
shoot.
Okay.
The name of the band, Gardenia. The name of the song is Lana Del Rey. That's an interesting name. We'll be right back with more Mediocre Time. 1-844-TOMNDAN if you'd like to call us before we close out the day. This week on Monday, we had Joe from Fair Villa Megastore in here, and I'm telling you, for Mother's Day, and guys, I'm not talking about, yes, you can get your lingerie if you need that. You can also get great pajama sets, costuming, sexual wellness products.
Yeah. Let's face it. Just get your wife a gift for Mother's Day from you. She'll appreciate it.
Yeah, get her something nice, man.
You don't have to get your mom lingerie. I guess you could. I don't know your relationship. I see online.
Every year, I lay lingerie on my mom's gravestone, sir.
Yeah, but
this is the third commercial I've attempted to hijack, and Tom's going to kill me after the show, guaranteed.
Also, Fairvilla University, they do live in person at the stores, which is a great opportunity, a great date night, by the way.
Most of the things that Fairvilla does, and I don't know why they do this. I mean, we do it too. A lot of the things they do, if not all, are free. They'll do parties at the store. You drop by, you're doing personal shopping, they're handing you champagne.
Got booze and food.
And it's all free. They just want you to pop in and say hi. Joe, her staff, there's no judgment. If you are a person navigating, let's say you just found out you're gay, that's the place to go. You just found out you're trans, that's the place to go. There's no judgment there. Yeah. They have been doing it for 50 years, longer than 50 years.
Or if you're like me, just a man has been married a long time with a same lady, it's like they got some things out there that may make everything better.
Or the clueless dad in your life.
Just walk through and you're like, hey, let's get this. It's pretty fun. I'm an adult. You're an adult. Let's
put some things in us.
Let's do some fun stuff
here. Why don't you sit on this?
Fairvilla.com.
Hey, wait, what? Oh, that's my fault. I had the headphones turned down. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom. Ross is here. How you doing, Ross?
I'm doing fantastic. Scale 1 to 10. You didn't ask that, but I'll give it anyways. 9. 9
is good.
9.
Where would you rate?
I'm always an even-keeled 4.
So this is the third time that I've kicked it with you guys. I was not. 4 is the funniest answer you could have said.
See, this guy's my fucking funny friend.
4 is the funniest number.
They're like, he's grumpy. I'm like, nah, he's the funniest motherfucker I know. I love this guy. He makes me laugh so hard.
It's the funniest number.
Most people are 4. He's going
to defend
Ross, there's no way fucking Ross could be a 9.
He's going to defend it.
9 is pretty.
I'm feeling good.
I mean, what were you?
People like you and me that like to chirp, we throw out little compliments and stuff. There's a bit of disingenuous that floats in that world. When you start winging around 9, he doesn't trust you.
10's the highest, Ross.
Yeah.
You were 10 when your baby was born.
That would be
my wife.
Only one notch above right now.
My wife is weighing in. Everybody in the chat room, tell us what you are. My wife says she's an 8 or 9.
10 is the maximum. You see what I'm saying? So
she's right under that, she said.
You can't just roll on a random Friday at work and roll at 1 under the maximum.
We got a 7.
But there's context that's needed, Tom. Example, one reason why I'm a 9 right now is because I've been going at it, and I haven't been sleeping a fair amount. Last night, I got my full 8, and I forgot how good it feels. So if you go on a string of days, sometimes you just... punches way above the capita. It's punching above its weight class. What's your favorite food? You look like
that's a dumb question. He hates food.
He hates food. He doesn't do that.
No, but he can eat
all
anything.
fine.
Yeah, see? I mean, God, you got to have some passion in your life, man.
Hypothetical will run with passion. Say your favorite food is passion fruit. You haven't had it for 10 years. It's still the same regular passion fruit, but you've missed it for 10 years. That's a more special passion fruit.
Is that an absence?
Yeah, because of that absence.
Yeah.
That's why I'm a 9 today, because I slept after not having it. That's why I said 9. I'm in a good mood. I got a rehearsal tonight. I'm ready to rock.
There you go.
Oh, you got shit to do later?
Yeah.
That would put me into a 3.
You know what? I got to agree with him on that.
If I
knew I had an event later today, I'd be like,
ruins everything.
Yeah, but I wanted to throw this out. This is the first Friday, the third Friday that I've kicked it with you guys. And this is the first time where I was like, I see a lot of myself and Tom, and I see a lot of myself in Dan. This is the first time, because when you were talking about your struggle to have fun, I was like, oh yeah, I've been there. I have been there. You have to put in. It's a paradox that you have to put in effort to relax, or you need to put in effort to have fun. But I could not. I've been in those shoes. I still have those shoes. I'm wearing those shoes now because you get so wrapped up in other things and you forget about the fun and the now.
Yeah,
it's weird because they're clown shoes.
Those are massively fun shoes.
These are the funny shoes, but you're out of 4 with clown shoes on.
Yeah. Right under clown shoes, tap shoes. Tap shoes are pretty fun, too.
Yeah,
they
fun,
make a lot of noise. Clogging shoes shake. They have a shimmy to them. They're not bad either. What do you want to do here? Voicemail? Oh, we get a call. Hold on.
Yeah.
We have a call.
What was it? Dragon.
Thanks for calling Mediocre Time. Who's this?
Hey, it's Rob Faney with the Vaney Report, and I got today's 3 top stories.
All right.
Okay, go ahead. All right, hit it.
All right, local news. 2 Native Americans were arrested outside of the Kia Center during the Orlando Magic playoff game. Police say they were caught scalping tickets.
Oh, you fumbled it.
You had one.
Yeah, you had it. You're like, police say they were caught.
Tom, did you know these guys?
You should
You might
have
be related.
a B-rabbit, looked at yourself in the mirror in the bathroom and said to yourself, you had one chance, don't fuck it up.
Mom spaghetti. Come on, motherfucker. And then he did it. He goes,
International news.
okay, go ahead. Power through.
International news, Egyptian officials were found guilty in court for overcharging tourists to see their famous landmarks. Apparently, it was a pyramid scheme. Hello? Is this thing on?
You know what makes it worse is our horrible phone connections.
For my last story.
Why can't there be clear phone connections?
It makes it scarier, too. And it's not us. I mean, yesterday when Ted Nugent called us, he's literally calling us on a coconut or a potato. I couldn't tell.
It's a gun.
Yeah, it probably was.
For this last story, I'm going to have to use the time machine. Let's get in here real quick.
It's pretty good.
It worked. Today, President Bill Clinton made news when he let an unknown intern, Monica Lewinsky, pick out the White House pet bird. She chose a swallow.
You ended strong. You ended strong. I feel like you're calling for the 90s.
But she didn't swallow. It ended up on the dress. That was the whole thing.
Let's rate it. She could have swallowed and some came out. What do we give this? I give this a 9, like Ross. How Ross feels.
I'm giving 6.
Okay.
And I'm going to dock a point for the reception, though.
Yeah, the reception was terrible. What is going on with phones? Why are they getting worse?
Because
because we don't use them. We only text. If we called all the time, they'd have to up the bandwidth.
I think it's a matter of time until people are like, oh, yeah, I can call people through the internet, FaceTime audio.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Clearer.
My sons prefer calling. And I don't know if this is the pendulum swing back, but they're like texting. They're like, that's too hard.
No, my daughter texts me.
Yeah.
Every morning at 9:12, my daughter texts me, I'm pooping. I love you. Every morning.
It is a thing amongst all my friends, and this is a room divider. I'm a huge phone caller. 98% of the time phone call. You text me, I call you. I'm one of those guys.
That's weird.
I will never
weird,
pick
bro.
up the phone.
And I get
my
it.
wife could be calling, and then I'll send it to voicemail, and then I read the voicemail, and I even read something about rape in there, and I will not. If she calls back, I'll never pick it up.
What helps my situation is that I know I am the crazy one. I'm fully aware. And when people don't call me back or anything like that, I'm like, I get it. I get it. I'm the one who's going up against the stream, but I love a good conversation, tone, cadence.
I don't want to pick it up. I just want you to tell me what you need with words, and I'll look at it, and I'll give you what you need. I don't want to hear you.
So, and then that's what that.
This is the Tom part of me. This is where I go more Tom than
like
Tom.
I said,
Tom, like, you're a traditionalist. You like a phone call more than me.
Well,
you talk to Tracy every morning. If I had to do that, I'd blow my brains out. No offense, Tracy. I love you.
if
the phone.
If you don't pick up, like if you call someone, they don't pick up. You know, you're like, I know you looked at it and actively did not pick it up.
No, that's not true. If you send it to voicemail quick, and I can tell. If you let it ring through, I will give you a pass.
Everybody has their phone on them. Like it's a 90% probability that they looked at it and actively decided to not pick up your phone call.
Well, what if I let it ring all the way through and I didn't have my phone on me? You've never been doing something where you could not pick up the phone?
Rarely. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I do that all the time where I'm like doing something and it's like ringing and I'm not going to like run over and grab my phone. I was just like, I'll just let it ring out.
But then you look at who's calling you?
Yeah, I'll look at it later. I won't look at it.
You won't look at it immediately?
No, maybe I'm a dumb old man on that. But like, let's say I'm carrying groceries and my phone is ringing. I'm not going to rush my groceries over to. I'm just going to let it ring out. My phone's ringing. All right, I'll get it in a minute.
But that's a statistical rarity that you're doing something. Most of the time, we're just sitting here, phone ring. Well, no,
how often do you buy groceries?
Every day.
We're
one of those people. We're one of those people. You can't decide.
And there's one thing that you just said about the phone call of like, if you're calling me and you're asking me like, what do you need? That's the big. Let me throw this out here. Wrong assumption. I never call people needing something. It's usually, this is so weird. Now that I say it out loud, I should probably change this about myself. But like driving home, I will call my wife. I'll call a best friend because I rather.
You can't drive alone.
I rather talk to them than listen to a song. I would say half the time. I'm like,
oh my
half
God.
music.
If somebody calls me while I'm listening to my sound system in my car, I'm pissed. I'm like, don't fucking call me.
Yeah, I'd much rather have like an update on a best friend's day or them finding out something. I'm down with that.
That's
okay,
interesting.
You're one of the most annoying people.
Yeah. No,
and I'll explain.
I agree.
You are long car ride call people, and this happens a lot in my life.
Yeah.
Who are you talking about exactly?
So friends of mine, like things happen, and you don't get to keep up with them as much as you want, but you've known them for years or whatever. So you'll often, this is what happens.
Oh, I just let those people fade from my memory.
Where they will call me during a long drive because it's nice that they thought about me and they wanted to catch up or whatever. But the problem is it's convenient for them and their long drive, but they'll do it.
Hey, I'm trekking out to Montana. You got a minute?
Yeah. I'm Ubering.
Yeah.
But they'll call
me in the open road and you, buddy. How's it going?
Well, I'm at home. I'm outside doing something with my plans. I'm doing,
because it's interrupting what you want to do, but you can't tell them no, or you can't say I'm in the middle of something, which is what I'm the king of.
But then if I don't pick up, I'm like, oh, this person thought about me, wants to catch up. They're obviously in a long car ride where they have that. So now I have to stop what I'm doing.
No, you don't. You text them back and say, hey, I'm in the middle of something.
Boom.
I'd love to talk to you.
That's the right.
Yeah.
And as the crazy person who does those phone calls, I completely get it. And anybody who's if you're a phone caller, you have to be able to adjust to people's phone call preferences.
No, but then I'm missing.
That's true. That is true.
I have to wait for their next long car ride, which that's not going to sync up either. So if I don't pick up the call and talk to my friend, then I'm ruining it.
You are riddled with anxiety.
Then I'm ruining a chance.
It's just as bad as me. It's just his is all weird.
It's just a different cul-de-sac.
Yeah, I think I actually have boring old regular, and you got some cool, crazy new one.
No, that's not even anxiety. I'm just ruining my chance to talk to him and catch up with an old friend of mine.
But it didn't mean that much anyway because you wanted to do your plan.
Which side are you on?
He doesn't know. That's the anxiety.
But what do I want to do? Do my plans or catch up with an old friend that I'll never get a chance to talk? He'll be dead soon. I'll be dead soon.
That's the time anxiety.
These plans will live forever. No, I'm saying, like, I need to stop what I'm doing.
You are constantly ruled by death. You're ruled by death.
Well, everybody should be. It's coming for us all.
That's the way to live. That's the way to live.
It's the only way to live.
You're living like manic.
No, but you have to enjoy talk to your friends.
Yeah, you have to enjoy. Are you enjoying anything? I don't think any one word of this particular show has you ever said you've enjoyed.
I'm living at a high forward.
The question is, man, what do you want? What do you like? You know,
I want to talk to my old friends.
All right, boom. Then what has the top priority out of that situation? What you're doing, or like, oh, cool, Carl's calling.
You can have both.
See, that's the choice they're making me make.
Okay, I'll give you that. Touche. I've never thought about it like that.
I'm like, oh, Logic Man Andy's calling me. I haven't talked to him in 8 months.
Oh, he's feeling guilty about missing that one. I'll tell you that. And he tells me not to dox people on the show.
And this happens with all my friends or anybody who calls
Shout out
me.
Logic Man, we love you, buddy.
For long car ride talks. The Grizz will do this to me. He'll be driving to the airport, and he's like, I thought about catching up. And then I'll be like, well, now I have to actively make a decision. Do I let the goddamn phone call go to voicemail?
I just let it go.
Or do I talk to my old friend, which I will appreciate after this. But right now, I don't want to do this. I want to stop what I'm doing.
If you appreciate nothing, you're ruled by nothing. That's me. Appreciate nothing, ruled by nothing.
There are times, and that I know that there are other people like me, but man, we are few and far between. I'll call my best friend up, and sometimes he'll just be we're hanging out. We're playing video games, 2 different video games. He's just doing his own thing.
Is it the thing where
on the phone, not talking like a bunch of teens, boys?
Yeah, I don't like that. When there's space, if you're a teen boy and you're having a conversation with another teen boy and there's space on the line where you guys are just like folding shirts or something, I'm not having it.
I know.
That's weird.
My wife used to do this.
No.
D'Angel's seen me for years, so I take a call from Crystal, and she's driving, and then I'm just still working on the computer, and we're just on the phone
and I'll
together.
have to ask, I'm like, are you on the phone?
Yeah.
You don't know.
I'm not talking.
He's living with her in the room in our office.
I don't know what the hell we're doing. Like, I'm like, oh, apparently she likes this, so I'm just going to do it.
It doesn't happen often, but it has happened in the past where, wife comes home, we're having a conversation, 5 minutes into it, my best friend John goes like, hey, yeah, I would do that too. And she's looking at me like, whoa, okay, didn't know he was here.
Oh, Ross.
But the thing
Ross,
is...
you can't do that, buddy.
But,
Next up, they're watching it.
in my defense, I also forgot. I think he was also on the phone. It's just something that I need to work on. Yeah. It's something that I understand that I'm the crazy person. But if someone asks me, like, what do you want? What do I like? Every now and then, I'm fine with like a chill phone call. And everybody who is in that club with that phone call club with me, we all know that hang-ups are just like abrupt. We don't even say goodbye. And when it gets to that, it's just
okay.
It's really almost it's non-existent. It's a weird thing. Instead of coming over,
that is a bit of a pet peeve of mine. There are some people that don't understand the quick goodbye, where I have to say something. Oh, like Andrea's calling me, or like, hey, Maisie just got here. I gotta go. I'll talk to you in a bit, and then you hang up, and then they call you back, and they're like, hey, is everything all right? Like you got it, like, and I'm like,
it's a sign of closeness. Holy shit, that is such an indicator on how close you are to somebody is how you hang up on them. Because if it's all filled with caring, you're trying too much, and you're not that close, and you're not being genuine. But if it's a close friend, wife, look, feel those hang-ups. They are short.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that was fast and rude. He's a dickhead.
But you're a phone caller.
You're a phone caller.
That's
what's Crystal? Is she a phone caller or a texter?
We all kind of migrated to text.
Andrea's full-blown texting, and then if I don't text her back, she'll call me. Also, Andrea does the thing. She's gotten better with it because she's in there. I don't want to get in trouble. But she would do 500 tiny texts. Give me 1 or 2 big boys.
Hey, we migrated to keeping up with old friends with big group texts. And then I never look at.
You want to know some shit? I think I'm in that group text too.
Yeah,
I've never gone.
Yeah,
I don't even know why I'm. Yeah, it's a poker. Is it poker? I'm in a poker group text. I know. I don't know anybody.
Oh, that Pirates by Craig.
Yeah, be careful with that. There's some powerful people in that.
Yeah. That's why I haven't.
You gotta be careful with that.
That's why I haven't left.
But it reminds
hella rich guys in that.
And by the way, and then if I don't respond with a reason why I'm not going to poker night, I want to go to poker night.
Is you building this anxiety inside of you because they don't care?
You know what it is? A bunch of rich guys. Their kids are grown. And Jimmy used to do this too, but I make fun of him before I had kids. He's like, I can't do shit. I got kids. I'm like, quit making your kids an excuse to everything. Whoa.
You know what? I'm restarting the phone lines.
I remember Jim saying that all the time, that he would always laugh when you guys called in years ago of like, now you're the ones with the kids and the schedule's blocked up and all of that.
Well, it happened, and then now I'm like, I can't justify going to play poker on Tuesday night when I gotta do all this stuff.
Why you gotta do what I do.
I can't,
you have to ignore so much stuff where people around you and friends believe you're dead. I don't think anyone thinks, and especially the way
You
that
have
I
to
look.
fake your own death, Tom.
Especially the way that I look, like Dice Man, the Dice Man millionaire, like famous on this show. This guy's crazy. We love that guy. He saw me yesterday. He's like, "Whoa, who the hell are you, man?" He's what the happened to you? You
well,
know?
you let your hair. You
I am.
and you got cane now.
I'm blending into the woods.
Yeah, if no one saw you after,
I'm blending into the woods.
2 years ago, all of a sudden you're like, whoa, what happened?
This is my societal exit. I'm serious. I have been saying that. This is my societal exit.
So we started the entire show, and we didn't get to talk about this, with something that I in particularly like a lot, which is
Pope.
When
Pope.
you
New Pope?
when you see something and then a friend does that particular thing and then you want him to do it in front of you because you know he does it. And Ross brought this up with open mic nights. Where tell the story, Ross.
This has happened twice this week.
Okay.
I get done. I'm hungry. I go out to go pick up food for my wife and I. And both restaurants that I went to this week, right next to an open mic. And I have to walk by the open mic, all the open micers who know me, and they're like, oh, shit, that's...
And they're all outside because, smokes.
Smokes. And now I'm also... It's so weird being the old head in your local comedy scene.
True.
Because I am a young old head. Like, I'm still new to being the old head.
Right.
And they thought I was they thought I was there for that open mic. And I was there for a chicken parm sub.
And then
they have good chicken
they
parm
want you to open mic, Ross, that's what you'd like to go do it. Yeah. I've done this with my buddy who's a firefighter where we saw a car accident and then this happened right by my house. And then
One of my favorite stories of all time.
And then it was like the car was on fire and there's a person, and then I'm like, oh, Joe, get out there.
Go be a hero. Yeah.
And he's like, I don't even have, I'm not on duty. I don't have my, I leave it up to a professional. I don't have any
I'm
equipment.
drunk. I'm eating an ice cream cone.
And then I forced him to go out there and talk to somebody on the ground holding
He's like,
his leg.
I have no shirt on. I'm wearing board shorts.
Dude, I'm front scratching next to my yard flamingos.
He loves it. And you know what it is because I've been waiting for someone to do that to me.
You've done it to me.
And I've never, I don't have a thing to do.
You've done it to me multiple times.
Yeah.
Drum set.
Oh, he plays drums.
Oh, look, everybody. Hey, get back there, Danny. Hey, leave that up, you motherfucker. I don't want to do it.
He only calls you Danny when it comes to drums.
You know how used to do it to me all the fucking time. And if he were here, I'd love to yell at him about it. No, Jeff Howe, I'd walk in. I just want to have a beer. All I want to do is have a beer and find some fat chick at T's and Q's. And this motherfucker would be like, hey, there's Dan. Get up here and sing, Dan. Come on up here. Hey, there we go. Oh!
You know what it is?
Fuck that.
My entire life.
I hate it. And you know what? For Jeff was here, I wish he were here because he would tell you this is a true story.
Mama's blue cheese.
I pulled him aside and told Jeff how please stop doing that. I had a real conversation with him. Like, you have to stop doing that, dude. I don't want to sing.
My entire life, I've always wanted to walk into like a fancy restaurant and there be a piano there, and then I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna sit down and play.
I never knew that.
You're one of those.
I never knew this.
And then
about you.
and then
Did
people
you know,
film me and
did
put
you know
me on
that
the internet.
The same man that was his dream.
Yeah, see,
that's what he considers
the
fun.
man who's anti-fun, the man who's
that's
anti-art.
His fun is walking into season 52 and wowing the crowd.
But I'm too lazy to learn how to play piano, and too lazy to learn how to do anything that would ever lead to any.
You're lazy 43.
It's a piano that plays itself, but he just fakes it real good.
And
okay,
I
wanted to play her piano for a while.
I have no talent or any sort of thing that I've ever done that would lead anybody to say like, hey, Tom knows how to do this. Go do it. With nothing.
Chat room's nailing you. Yes, you do.
Nothing.
If you and I were in the wilderness at a waterfall and there was one that is flippable, and I said, I bet you can't flip.
Look at the glimmer in that eye.
Do I know my wife or not?
I will jump off a waterfall. But it's not what I'm known for doing. You see what I'm saying?
You
Not really. I mean, believe
Your
me.
whole beginning of your career, you were known for doing stunts.
Yeah, but when I
dude.
do have that, I did this last time I was Colorado with
I
my friends,
know.
and half of them were looking at their phones.
He jumped and they didn't even care, and he'll never.
Yeah, because
he's been talking about it since he got back.
The internet's filled with guys that do quadruple backflips off there. So
Ross, newsflash, there are feelings inside there.
I love it.
My tiny woo didn't even do anything. It wasn't impressive for anybody. Anyway,
It's hard to beat getting gored by a bull. That's what I always
get
say.
you with a stunt or something.
no, but people's jobs. I do this with Turkey Leg. Like he's a Harley mechanic, and anytime like someone's car doesn't work, I'm like, oh, you go fix it. And he's like, I don't know how to work on a fucking Hyundai. It's like not the same. And I'm like, it's similar.
When I walk by
Your
use
fucking
your knowledge.
engine's an engine. Go look and see what you can do.
Do you do that with people? Like, if there was something happening here and somebody needed help, would you come over and start giving your knowledge about it?
I like the scenario of like someone's dying of a heart attack, and then you look at the plate and you're like, "Who's a doctor?" And then the doctor stands up and then goes and does something.
And you want that to be you?
Yeah. But in some sort of terms that I could actually use my skills.
And then you get to flex.
That I learn to,
Is that why when people come to you, you'll go to do like a favor because you want them to kind of give back that, like, oh, this guy did something awesome for me. I love this guy. Like that kind of a
Wow.
You do a lot of favors. You do.
Whoa, you're awesome.
Yeah. Now you got it.
Yeah.
Little more of that, please.
No one
He's
says
got a
that.
boner now.
I didn't know you could do that.
Wow.
But it's like learning, like, because stand-up comedy, like Ross could go on in front of any mic, and then if like people are sitting down, like immediately get up on that mic and start entertaining a crowd. From years,
I feel
and years,
comfortable. I could do that.
Strangers and stuff, I cannot do that. You see what I'm saying? Because I don't have an act, I don't have jokes to go to.
And just to clarify, the only reason why I didn't do that open mic was because there was no audience. They were just other comics in the room. I was like, I'm not doing that.
And other comics hate other comics.
I don't want to just. You guys aren't the people I'm trying to entertain.
You're not there to do open mic. You're there to eat.
I'm there for a chicken parm.
So,
I'm there for a sandwich, buddy.
You like doing stand-up, but you just don't want to do it on command. But you can do it on command, and that's what the friends around you like to know, to see you do. That's what I like. The fact that you have this talent, I want to see you do it on command.
We have a real one in the chat
My son
room.
does it with breakdancing, too. He won't breakdance on command when I tell him to. I'm like...
Used to happen with me a lot.
I'm like,
with
Well, how
rapping.
good is it to have a white kid that breakdances if you can't point at him and go, like, do it?
Yeah,
Well, we're at like a theme park. I'm like, hey, there's black people around. Start breakdancing.
Yeah,
They'll be impressed.
Yeah, I'll be second to only David Blaine. Go crazy.
I'm like, that's my son.
Yeah, that's my son. We like black people. Put it there, black people.
And he won't do it ever. He's like, I don't want to do it. I'm like, no, you're ruining it all.
Attention, black people. My son enjoys the way you guys wiggle, and you're about to see the show. You should do more of that.
Wow, he's awesome.
Wow, great job, Tom. Wow.
All right.
This went poorly. Do we have anything we need to plug and get out of here? You want to get out of here?
Yeah, let's get out of here. So go buy tickets to Ross's show.
Yes.
10 more sketches with Ross and Joel, OrlandoFringe.org, RossComedy.com, either one of those websites, and just support the Fringe Festival. It is a blast. It's one of the best things Central Florida does.
Yeah, buy your button first,
Yep.
and then go buy your tickets. You have to have both, and it's important for you guys to know that. Button goes to Fringe, tickets go to Ross and Joel.
Yep.
And that's what you really need to know. And again, we know a lot of these guys, and next week we'll be rolling out a decent swath of Fringe artists, right? I think
Yes,
we've
yeah.
already had a couple in. You count as one. We had Rue Navasad in.
Yeah, big Fringe next week because obviously it starts next week. Also, on the BDM show, we're going to announce a family-friendly event that our good buddy Mo DeWitt is putting together. Mo and John Bustek, I've been talking to him for a while.
Mo DeWitt also sponsoring my Fringe show, along with Mortgage Guy Don.
Oh, hell yeah.
They are our title sponsors for 10 more sketches. Mo is so cool.
Yeah,
Mortgage Guy Don has something I've always wanted, but I'll never get it. And I'm waiting for AI to get there, but he has a jingle.
Yeah.
.com.
Yeah.
You know the one I'm talking about?
Don't miss the boat. Compare your quote. That mortgage guy done.
Or did he do it old school where he like get paid some?
Yeah. He must have spent like $10,000 on it. I love it.
You know, I know who did it.
Really?
It's Fritz. It's
Fritz
Fritz.
did it?
I believe Fritz and Darcy.
And his wife? Mm-hmm. Oh, they're so talented.
Like jingle writers are dead, right?
I don't know if they're making a big comeback.
Yeah, like hey,
John Jacob Jinglewriter Smith is dead. I know that.
You're just going to use AI. There's
Hey, that's a dad joke.
Like, is there a company they're like, oh, humans are better than AI? I'm going to hire a human.
John Jacob Jinglewriter Smith. Did you catch that?
Come
Did
on,
you catch
AI.
that?
Try to catch up on
Did you
that.
catch that? That literally nicked your ear, and you should pump your fist, fight.
Yeah.
That literally just took off your head, baby.
You just won an election because of that.
You just won an election because of my John Jacob Jinglewriter Smith.
I'm just in the background, can't find my holster.
Okay, are we done? It's your show.
We'll see you on Monday.
Yeah.
Sometimes why?
Bye.
Hold it, fellas. Oh, wait a minute. I can't publish that. It's mediocre.
Hold on, we're getting feedback, Ted, before we start.
I should hope so. I'll give you some fucking feedback. Watch it.
Hold on.
I like this. This is what I wanted. Hell yeah.
Are you getting some feedback?
Yeah.